Hi, my name's Jamie Weaver, BSW. I graduated from CalU in May of 2020. I developed this poster along with writing a paper about it. So the title of my poster is Identity Development in Biracial Children, Contextual Factors from Social Work. Just a little background on why I chose this topic. My daughter is biracial, and I decided that it was important for me to understand her better and help guide her along her journey of being biracial. So I wanted to do some more research on it and see what researchers had to say about biracial children. So I'll go through each part of this poster. First, the introduction. And basically the introduction is saying that biracial individuals are one of the fastest growing racial populations in the country. They have grown dramatically, and it makes it more complex because of the relationship between the white and black populations in the history of the United States. It brings additional challenges for biracial people or individuals, and so biracial children also face those same difficulties. And as a social worker, I wanted to understand that to best serve my clients, and as I said, in my personal life, best serve my daughter. So I think it's very important for social workers to understand the complexities behind the biracial population. So the next part of the poster is parental influence on identity. And parents have a huge impact on their children's identity, how they have racial attitudes and ideologies, and shape the way that they communicate to their children, and children internalize those. So interracial couples sometimes can be pressured by family or society to align their biracial children with one racial group. And it also creates this third racial identity within the family structure, because one parent may be white and one parent is black. So the child can't always relate to the parent because each parent has its own racial identity. So the child is stuck feeling alone sometimes, in that no one can understand them. So that comes to the next part of the poster of racial socialization. So racial socialization refers to the practice of parents communicating their ideas, information, values about race and ethnicity to their children. And white and black people have different attitudes towards race because of how they were brought up or how society wants them to act. So it can be difficult for interracial couples to have racial socialization practices that are the same, because they come, as I stated earlier, they come from a monoracial background, which is different from their biracial children. Therefore, they don't share the same racial identity. The concept of cultural humility came up as I was doing research. And this is one that was widely recommended for using with biracial children: openness and respect toward varied racial experiences. So being able to, and it was proven that it had better outcomes for children, such as less challenges with racial identity and greater pride in like who they are and their multiracial background. And then on to the next, on the top, the border identity goes along with the cultural humility. Border identity is something that came up, and Rocklemore developed this, a multi-dimensional model of biracial identity. And he broke it down into four different ones. And border identity came out because it's saying that that supports the multiracial, not having to choose black or white. And biracial children can be very confused by that, of feeling like they have to choose one parent over the other. So this border identity comes as them being able to express who they are openly, and not have to pick which one. And that also goes back to the US Census, where they're allowed to say that they're mixed race, because for many years they were only allowed to choose white or black. And most of the time they were labeled as black because of the one drop rule. So a couple future directions that were brought about by the research. There's a positive racial identity development in early education. It's a program based out of the University of Pittsburgh, and it supports families in this racial identity, and teaching kids how to have a positive racial identity, especially kids that come from multiple backgrounds. It educates the families and communities and professionals about the importance of supporting African American youth and mixed racial kids. So that's really what I wanted to focus on. The research was bringing all these concepts together to teach social workers and other leaders and future social workers that there are positive ways to have biracial children express themselves and not be forced into a box per se to what they have to be, or what society wants them to be, or what their parents want them to be. Supporting them in their quest to find their identity, which can already be a complicated time in their lives. So thank you for your time, and that's it.